Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Um, my esteemed viewers, welcome to Gunjuru News Online for another episode of our daily COVID-19 update. And today my topic will be recent. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. I don't need that. Yeah, recent protests in the US and across the world, the impact of it on the spread of COVID-19. I'll be discussing. Talking about social distancing, you can see that those regulations are broken. You don't tell an angry person, to social distance or cover their face and all that. So these protests is going to cost US a lot more. Before then, what I will just do, I will just go as usual to give you the recent update, the latest update about COVID-19. As you are all aware, this pandemic started in China. Lamin Jobati, welcome. Yeah, this pandemic started in China in December 2019. And since then, 6,513,891 people are infected. And out of that, 384,642 are dead. And that's a mortality rate of about 7 to 8%. That means if you have COVID-19, you have your chances of dying is about 7 to 8%. That might look in single digits, but for a viral infection, that is really nasty. This virus, initially when it comes, people were comparing it to influenza, but we have this number of influenza dead. Why the media hype and all that? But those discussions now are damping down. Nobody is talking about that when reality finally hit home. The sad thing about and the worrying thing about this virus is very infectious. That means it can be easily spread. That's why I come here again to remind people, because I believe even in Gambia there will be protests, which I support 100%, because the whole world need to stand up to US continue bullying of its own citizens and also people of color across the world. It's America who destroyed Iraq in recent times. They are trying. Iran cannot breathe. They destroy Libya. They are involved in all sorts of things across Africa and the nation across the world, and their own citizens. The African Americans and the Latinos, they don't have respite. So I think the whole world need to join in, to make a clear statement that their bullying tactics, their systemic racism cannot continue any further. But I'll come back to that. For now, the death rate of 7 to 8% is really bad for a virus infection that people need to know. And also what is worrying about COVID-19 is its infectiousness. It's very easy to transmit from one person to another. And so far, the number of people who recovered is 3,100,971. This is good news, and it's also good to highlight the number of people who had the virus and also recovered. The recovery rate is about 80%. That's the good news. And also the good news is about this recovery. This will help us, to find a cure for this virus. It will help us understand, the pathogenicity. That is how the virus caused. This is how it progressed. And if people recover their immune system, these are all new areas. It will help us a lot. And it will also help us in our vaccine development. And also it will help directly in the treatment, because if somebody who recovered from COVID-19, that means they build immunity to it. That is the scientific term. But if you want to explain immunity to a layman, that means they are now resistant to COVID-19. That means they have specially programmed proteins, molecule inside their plasma, that is the liquid component of the blood, that can specifically go and attack this virus and neutralize it. So technically, if you take somebody who recovered from COVID-19, you take their blood, spin it, take the liquid component and transfuse it into somebody who is currently suffering from COVID-19, it will speed up their recovery, because that means you boost their immune system, you give them a ready-made immunoglobulins that will go out in their system and neutralize the virus. So right now, the active cases, number of people currently living with COVID-19 is 3,028,279. And out of that, 2,973,995 are in mild conditions. That is the 98% of the total number of people with COVID-19 are in mild conditions. And mild condition, that means that include the asymptomatic ones. When I say asymptomatics, these are people who are tested positive with COVID-19, but they are showing no sign of signs of any form of infections. But also among the mild symptoms are those with headaches, those with persistent cough, or in some instances, people lost their sense of smell or taste. So most of the time, people who suffered from these symptoms don't also suffer from the other symptoms. So that's why we should be careful. If all of a sudden you lose your sense of smell or taste, you should try and see your doctor or call the helpline if you are in Gambia. That is I think 1125, something like that, to report these symptoms to them so that you can be tested and rule out that you are infected or not. Number of people in serious or critically ill conditions is 54,283. These numbers are going up. So people, I think we are getting used to COVID-19, and also the countries that dominate the media, like the Europe, where is the former epicenter, the COVID-19 is coming down, and that makes the media coverage on it is lessened down. And also, you look at the US, the major corporation, they just want the economy to open. So you can see in America, only the left, the media houses that tend to decide support the leftist agenda mainly cover the COVID-19, but the right-wing media networks are mainly concentrating on the economy to be open, so they are not reporting extensively as they should, but the numbers are increasing. In America, in South America, which is the now new epicenter, and also worrying in Africa, the numbers are just going up. So when we say critical or seriously ill with COVID-19, these are the group of COVID-19 infected patients who need hospital stay. And not only a mere hospital stay, these people need intensive care bed. That's the sad thing about COVID-19. Most of the patients who are hospitalized, don't need ordinary hospital stay. Very few of them just hospital stay. The rest go on to develop serious symptoms, and they have to be admitted to intensive care. And why they have to be admitted to intensive care, that means they will need mechanical ventilators, because COVID-19, we all know, attack the upper and the lower respiratory tract, and once it's in your lungs, it damages your lungs. And once your lungs are damaged, you cannot maintain healthy concentration of oxygen in your system. And once that happens, your vital organs like your kidney, like your heart, your brain, they start falling. And this is how the virus kills people. So at the intensive care, what they do, they supply them with concentrated oxygen, like 100% oxygen, and they use mechanical ventilators to force this air into their system. Whereas in the atmosphere, the oxygen concentration is only 21%. And if your lungs capacity is also severely reduced, that means you cannot rely only on your lungs to survive. So right now, I'm going to give you numbers for countries, 10 most affected countries in the world, and also the number of new cases. So far, 213 countries are affected with COVID-19, and out of that, and 2 international conveyances, that is cruise ships or military aircraft carriers. Total number of new infection past 24 hours across the world is about 138,585. These are big numbers. And number of death, past 24 hours across the world is 5,206. And past 24 hours alone, US recorded 9,034 new cases and 508. And I expect these numbers to start going up again by big numbers because of these protests. And these protests are not happening only in America, but across the world, up to Australia. They are all protesting against police brutality against black people in the US. Brazil recorded 4,069 new cases and 139 dead past 24 hours, and Russia recorded 8,536 new cases, 178 dead. Spain, the numbers are not yet in. UK recorded 1,871 new cases and 359 dead. Italy recorded 321 and 71 dead. And Italy, India, also approaching the 10,000 mark. I believe tomorrow they will pass it. But just for your information, past 2.5 weeks, India, every day they've been breaking their own national records. By that I mean, like, the numbers they record the following day, it will go beyond that. Past 24 hours, they recorded 9,238 new cases, more than US. So past 24 hours, India recorded more COVID-19 cases than any other country in the world. And they recorded 258 deaths. And Germany recorded 123 new cases and 6 deaths. Now, Peru also, just as I said, South America now is the epicenter. The numbers for Peru are not yet in, but they are in the top 10, 20. So coming to countries that are very, very close to the Gambia, and the numbers are not promising and they are not looking good. Senegal recorded 96 cases past 24 hours, and so far Senegal recorded 3,932 new cases. And Guinea-Conakry recorded 42 new cases past 24 hours and 3,886 cases so far. Ivory Coast recorded 73 new cases and 3,024 cases so far. Bissau, the numbers for the past 24 hours are not yet in, but so far they recorded 1,339, and Mali recorded 1,551 so far, and the numbers for the past 24 hours not yet in. Burkina Faso recorded 884 cases so far and 13 new cases past 24 hours. Sierra Leone also is approaching the 1,000 mark very worryingly. They recorded 909 cases so far and 9 new cases. And Gambia also recorded 1 new cases past 24 hours, and then they now have 26. What is worrying about Gambia's case is that we are not doing enough tests, and that's a fact. And Gambians are dropping that, in their numbers on daily basis. So you never know. I don't want to speculate. But what is also worrying the neighboring countries, the numbers continue to escalate. And we know our borders are the least secured. And Senegal already start opening up. In fact, I think their schools are open, but they want to close them again because about 3 professors, I think, or 4, have COVID-19 since the opening of the school, and that's convinced them that maybe it's too early to open up. So we hope Senegal remain closed, especially their borders, because once Senegal's stop those restrictions, people will flood in from Senegal to the Gambia, and that was not good for us. So I'm going to go to my today's topic. And that is the effect of current protest in the US and other parts of the world. And other part of the world, the effects on COVID-19 spread. Globally, COVID-19 infection past 6 million now, and Latin America hit the green milestone. They now have over 50,000 dead, with Brazil alone accounting for half of that. So Brazil have 25,000 dead from COVID-19. But what is amazing about Brazil is their president. This guy is in the same league as Donald Trump. He's still calling this a little flu. He went through two. He's on his third health minister. The previous two resigned because he cannot get any cooperation from him. He don't care about the number of deaths, the number of people dying. All he care about is about the economy. And we've seen these protests also spreading there. That's going to make things worse. So with at least 369,000 that confirmed worldwide in the pandemic began in China in January, and that number pleads to be underestimated. That's the fact. The numbers we are reading. These are the numbers recorded in the hospital. What we see in South America in particular. These numbers can be right because people are just been buried because they don't have the capacity to test all these people. Even though people are coming in, they've been admitted with COVID-19 symptoms, but they don't have the capacity to test them. So this 369,000 death from COVID-19 is seriously underestimated. And Brazil virus death toll is now 28,812, and now have surpassed that of France. They passed Spain the other day. I think now they are the third most affected country. So the 6 million infection total was passed. Pope Francis insisted that people were more important than economy as countries decide how quickly to open from corona lockdowns. Yes, that's a religious man. Just what I've been saying. The Pope also chipped in that this Brazilian president and also Donald Trump and even in European countries, I think they are opening too quickly. They right now care more about opening their economies because these are politicians. It's the economic figures they will rely on to win elections. But I don't think anybody also can win election on the back of number of that, of your citizens because of the carelessness of that particular leader. So it's not a wise thing to do. The Pope, made these unscripted comments without naming any specific countries, and in his noon address from his window overlooking St. Peter's Square. But we know the countries he's talking about. So the numbers still continue. Yeah, but why today we are discussing these protests, and you see lot of people wearing masks, but you look at also the number of people without masks, and even those with masks, I think they struggle to speak because they are not used to it. These masks, even for medical practitioners, they are not comfortable, to tell you the fact. So if you are moving or even talking is even more difficult to use them. That's why you see these politicians, when they are coming to talk, they will take off their mask. But that's the time you need the mask, because that's the time you will generate aerosols. When I talk, I generate aerosols. When you chant at the top of your voice, that means your aerosol transfer even far. You release them with more power. But I've seen them, in the crowded rooms or even on the street, when they come in to speak, they will take off their mask. That's not what the mask is for. Mask is when you are talking or when you're going to speak, so that the water coming from your mouth is not, it doesn't travel beyond yourself. Yeah, so no doubt about that. Numbers are going to escalate. In fact, already there is a report in Washington Post today that already Minneapolis, where is the epicenter of these recent protests, the numbers of positive cases and the number of hospitalization already start increasing. And the wise cool heads among the Democrats are already calling for the government to come with more COVID-19 packages, because they have no doubt the numbers are going to go up. Also, the economic forecasters are coming with very, very grim pictures. predictions or projections that this COVID-19 actually, when everything is said and done, it could cost American economy 16 trillion over the next 10 years. This is not going anytime soon. Even the virus is gone, but the knock, on effect um, is going to be really, really nasty. So demonstration and COVID-19 is simple arithmetic. When you have lot of people out, chanting at the top of their voice, which most of the time no mask. So you expect them to be anytime if they are positive, they chant or they speak, they're going to spread what they call super spreaders. Some people who are actively infected and they are in the middle of these crowds. Once they chant at the top of their voice, you're going to generate aerosols. Like as I speak here, I can see these small ones right in front of my TV and also my keyboards. That's why these devices need to be properly cleaned with proper cleaning material that will also kill the virus without damaging your machine also. So we've seen protests from Australia. We've seen America. I don't even have to explain, but we've seen it in the UK. In fact, just before I come on here, one policeman was punched. In this protest. In England, they just coming out from a very nasty pandemic. They flatten the curve and they are coming in down, and they try to be very careful, with strict precautions and recommendation. And I think the locals are trying. But you look at these protests; it's come out of nowhere. Just the week UK opened start opening their country, and all of a sudden you have a big, massive protest. So you expect, numbers in England also in the coming week or so, 1 week, to 2 weeks time. I have no doubt numbers are going to go up again because they have seen the police. They're trying to enforce those social distancing regulations, but they can't because what is in fact happening. They are endangering their own lives because the chances for them to get the infection also increase as they stay with the protesters. So what can the country do, to counter this? Yes, as I said, there is, with all this madness, with all this stupidity Donald Trump is doing, but there are wise people in America, even though Donald Trump is overshadowing everything, but you have really smart people in that country. In terms of human capital, they second to none in terms of the educated, in biological science, in everything, they are top there. But you follow the news media now, all what dominate is stupidity and also the effect of endemic corruptions and all that, and endemic racism. So that's why hate, never win anywhere, never takes anywhere. You can be as developed as what, but if you don't treat people fairly, eventually it's going to blow up. And right now, what is happening to US is just unbelievable. They suffering from a major pandemic, which is yet to peak in other part of their countries. Well, if you take the entire United States, where it still don't reach the peak, and all of a sudden they have this. So right in front of me there are pictures. I don't see in that particular shot only one person have a face mask. So you expect these numbers to go up again, and that means more lockdown, for the US, and more lockdown for other European countries. And that means, more lockdown for all of us as well. Less that means more delay for international travel as well. just for a very one stupid wicked man, kill a man in front of, in the middle of a street in a broad daylight in the most horrific way, almost unimaginable. 9 minutes this guy was asking, please, air, I cannot breathe, air. And we know that's what corona does, because if corona infects you, it damages your lungs. You gasp for air, you cannot breathe. That's why they take them to when they take corona patients to intensive care, they fix them with mechanical ventilators. These mechanical ventilators will force, concentrated oxygen into their lungs so they can have enough oxygen. So basically, these police officers who arrest, or the U.S. police, these are the same as COVID-19. The same as COVID-19, but in fact they are worse than COVID-19, because COVID-19 maybe will kill a fit man maybe in a week or 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. But this human COVID-19 killed this man, 46-year-old fit, man in 9 minutes. That shows how brutal human being can be. Could you imagine how nasty a virus is? But it takes virus a week or more before the symptom, before the body in fact realize that it's infected, because we are equipped with specially programmed proteins called immunoglobulins. Once we are infected with this virus, they will get up and do their work and try to eliminate the virus. But with the human virus, this guy in fact at some point, that Kelvin guy, they told me, look, this guy is not breathing, he's, can we put it on his side? And he said no. So, human cruelty, knows bounds, and it can cause severe destruction. This one wicked man, look what is costing the whole world. It can, all the sacrifice we've been doing past 6 months, all the lockdown, this one corona man can take us back another 6 months or 1 year, because the numbers are going to surge again. And if the numbers surge, the politicians have to make a decision. That means we all have to go back into our houses again. The airlines cannot fly again, and the economies are going to suffer. And the implication for this, for low-income countries like ours, the Gambia, is going to be devastating. So this is what hate, and also if countries refuse to address, the issue of equality. This is all down in inequality, because the black people in America, they don't bring themselves here. They are forcefully brought there. They use them. Once they build their country, they know that it's not economically viable again to continue to go to Africa and bring these people. They free them, but they free them with nothing. You leave your land to come to America. When they use you have nothing, they leave you without no land, no property, nothing. So some people will say, well, these people are lazy. These are all planned, because when they release them, they put them all in ghettos, these projects. The same system, will even start supplying them with the drugs just to get them all hooked. It makes them lazy. They start opening liquor stores around these projects. So this where these people find solace, and that continue to damage them. And I don't want to go into the economy, but what I'm just to round up, I have 1 minute, that human beings are far worse than COVID-19, because we've seen COVID-19, it can take COVID-19 a week to 3 weeks to destroy your lungs and stop you completely from breathing, but we've seen human COVID-19 kill a fit man just within 9 minutes. In fact, it's 8 minutes 46 seconds. They stop him completely. They suffocate him. He was, his oxygen supply was completely, cut. So unfortunately, the repercussion for this is beyond America. It's going to affect the whole world. So when we are in position of authority, let us always try, to be equitable, to be fair, to establish a system that doesn't discriminate one against another, because the anger, once it start building, eventually is going to explode. Sorry, I come to the end of this program, and inshallah tomorrow, just for tomorrow, our time will change. for about an hour. We're coming live tomorrow, 8 o'clock UK time, and um, 9 o'clock Gambia time, and 3 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know about this UK time, American time. Yeah, Ben Suare will be here, inshallah, tomorrow. Ben is a specialist, about Gambia. So we'll be discussing about past events, past week, the burning issues of the past weeks. But the big one is on Monday. On Monday, Professor Conte is coming here, Fatu Jaumani is coming here, and also Bojang of Mimbe Caring. We are discussing about this land issue facing Combo people, because the Gambia government, or the physical planning yesterday on behalf of the Gambia government, there are a revelation that Combo lands belongs to the states. That is a declaration of war. So we should all be ready. We are in war footing. How can you take part of the country, say that belongs to the state, and the rest of the country belongs to, their rightful owner? It's not going to happen. So on Thursday we have Ben here, as I said, 8 o'clock UK time, 9 o'clock Gambia time, and 3 p.m. Eastern time in the US. But that's just for tomorrow. On Friday is World Environment Day. Again, we're going to have a panel discussion. Dr. Malandin Jete, the advisor to the current Minister of Environment, will be here. Umar Eje Sao, one of the brightest young environmentalists, and not only an activist, but he's a trained environmentalist as well, and he's doing his second master's on policy issues. So he's smart. He's going to be here, and also Famara. And then we have 2 days off, and on Monday we are back here again with a bank. Then we'll have Banka Mane will be on the show. Dave Mane is going to be on the show, and Esa Toure of Gunjur also. Dr. Esa Toure is a historian. We are discussing this land issue affecting Combo. And please share these videos. And thank you very much for your patronage. We really appreciate it. This is a non-profit media. We're just trying to create a platform, a voice for the younger generations, the 35 and below. You have an idea, just give me a call. I'll bring you here, we discuss it. You have issues, you think it needs to come, and you have a small business or community-based organization. You want Gambians to know what you are doing. Bring it. We will showcase it here, for you for free. Thank you all. Allah Barakah.
Bunyur Fitness Center Body Max. Bunyur Fitness Center Body Max. Staying fit is a combination of eating well and physical fitness. This you can easily find in Bunyur Fitness Center Body Max. Bunyur Fitness Center Body Max. First, you'll get to lose fat easily with amazing exercises. Build your muscles gradually. Fitness becomes fashion, so no pain, no gain. Bunyur Fitness Center Body Max. The way to prove yourself is to better yourself with the kinds of machines we have at Bunyur Fitness Center Body Max. You will easily better yourself, like the rowing machine, leg curl machines, weight benches, rubber plates, double pulley machines, cross trainers, rubber dumbbells, multi-gym machines, and much more. New Fitness Center Body Max. Remember, we have a state-of-the-art changing rooms, toilets and showers for our esteemed clients, both ladies and gents. Different varieties of foods to aid yourself. Developments of muscles and bones are available at reasonable prices. Regular beat training is also part of our periodic exercises. For more information, call 7171998, 7171998 to New Fitness Center Body Max.
Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Karaba Avenue and Bruceby Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980 8483 340 9400 or 635 9906.